Tonight, the sky glows with a brilliance that feels almost unnatural. The biggest supermoon of the year, suspended above us like a mirror that doesn't just reflect light, but magnifies truth. Its silver edge cuts through illusion, illuminating everything we've avoided seeing. The world feels quieter, but not peaceful. It's the silence that comes before revelation. Somewhere deep in your body, something ancient recognizes what this means. You can feel it. The air thickens, your pulse shifts, your awareness sharpens. The energy is not soft. It hums like a live wire. Most people will approach tonight as if it were just another full moon, lighting candles, setting intentions, repeating affirmations they've memorized but no longer feel. They'll call it a ritual, but it's routine. And that is where the first mistake begins. Confusing motion with connection and activity with awareness. Because this is not a moon that responds to noise. This is spiritual voltage, a frequency that amplifies whatever already lives inside you. It doesn't soothe, it exposes. If you move carelessly, if you speak from habit instead of alignment, the same light that could lift you will shake you. This moon will not bend to anyone's comfort. It will magnify what's real and dissolve what's false. And that's what most people miss. They think energy can be manipulated, tamed, softened into something that flatters them. But this night was never meant to flatter. It was meant to awaken. There's a reason this energy feels heavier than usual, because it carries consequence. Every thought, every emotional vibration, every whispered wish becomes louder under this sky. If your intention is rooted in truth, it expands. If it's tangled in fear or denial, it distorts. This isn't about doing more. It's about becoming awake in the middle of everyone else's sleep. The collective is performing spirituality like a script they barely remember. But the real ones, the few who stay still and listen, will hear something different tonight. A call that doesn't come from above, but from within. Because the greatest danger of this supermoon isn't missing its power, it's mishandling it. One wrong mindset can turn momentum into chaos. One rushed ritual can scatter what was meant to stabilize you. And the tragedy is that most people won't realize they've done it until the consequences begin to echo through their lives in the weeks ahead. The moon amplifies everything: clarity, confusion, healing, hunger. And if you're not intentional, it won't amplify your breakthrough. It will amplify your noise. So tonight is not about effort. It's about precision. About recognizing the subtle difference between surrender and apathy, between being calm and being numb. Because some of you have confused peace with avoidance. You say you want transformation, but secretly hope nothing actually changes. You want the growth that doesn't disrupt your comfort, the awakening that doesn't challenge your control. You light candles for change, but whisper to yourself, "Not yet." And that quiet resistance, that invisible wish for stability, is the very energy that keeps your world from expanding. This moon doesn't reward those who hide behind spiritual language. It rewards those who are willing to lose their balance in order to find their truth. It asks one question: are you willing? Not, are you ready? Not, are you prepared? Because readiness is intellectual. Willingness is soul deep. Readiness says, I'll try when I feel safe. Willingness says, I'll step even while I tremble. The difference between those two vibrations is everything tonight. Because this moon doesn't move with those who wait for perfect timing. It moves with those who surrender into divine timing. The light above is not gentle. It's confrontational. It's designed to pull the veil off the illusions you've built around your identity. And when it does, it won't ask for your permission. This isn't a night for borrowed wisdom. It's not a night for mimicking someone else's ritual or repeating someone else's affirmations. This is the night where authenticity becomes a spiritual law, where your emotional state becomes your offering, your willingness becomes your ritual, and your honesty becomes your altar. Because the biggest mistake most will make tonight is assuming they can stay the same. They will talk about release, but hold tighter to what's comfortable. They will speak of transformation, but hide from the unknown. They'll say they're manifesting change, but silently pray their life doesn't move too fast. And the universe will listen, not to their words, but to their frequency. Energy doesn't care about the phrases you say. It responds to the truth you emit. If your spirit is leaning toward growth, the current will accelerate you. If it's leaning toward familiarity, the same current will hold you still. The supermoon amplifies direction, not desire. So ask yourself quietly, which way am I leaning tonight? Because nothing is heavier than the destiny you refuse to step into. Nothing is more draining than pretending to be ready for a life you're secretly afraid to live. The truth is, this moon is not punishing anyone. It's simply mirroring what already exists within. And when that mirror lights up the sky, the reflection might shock you, not because it's foreign, but because it's been waiting to be seen. So breathe. Stand beneath it. Let the silence between heartbeats become your teacher. Don't rush to speak, to fix, to perform. Let the moon see you exactly as you are, raw, imperfect, trembling, willing. Because tonight isn't a ceremony to impress the divine. It's a confrontation that invites you to finally meet it. Almost no one talks about the Beaver Moon. Everyone is so enchanted by the light, the spectacle, the glow, the mystical language, that they miss what this night is actually teaching. The secret isn't in the shimmer of the surface, it's in the structure beneath it. The beaver doesn't wait for the river to calm before it begins its work. It studies the current, understands its flow, and then builds around it, shaping the chaos into harmony. And that is what this energy demands of you now. The Beaver Moon carries no illusions. It isn't here to comfort your ego or indulge in cosmic poetry. Its wisdom is quieter and more enduring. It says, strengthen what holds you before you call in what tests you. Many chase manifestations without preparing the ground that must hold them. They light candles for abundance while leaking belief through every thought of unworthiness. They ask for love without repairing the parts of themselves that cannot yet sustain it. They ask for purpose without clearing the habits that suffocate it. This moon doesn't want your wishes. It wants your groundwork. It calls you to fortify the bridges between your dream and your discipline. Because blessings land on structure, not on fantasy. What you build now, the small, deliberate actions, the boundaries you reinforce, the clarity you define, these are the silent rituals that decide whether your next chapter collapses or endures. Think of the beaver. It senses the seasons shifting, feels the chill of winter approaching, and begins to gather, reinforce, and design, not out of panic, but out of alignment with the natural order. It does not rush. It prepares. And tonight, this energy asks you the same question. Where in your life do you need reinforcement? What habits crack under pressure? Which relationships drain your foundation? Which dreams need pillars of practicality behind them rather than poetic hope? You cannot build divine architecture on emotional quicksand. The spiritual world does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards inner engineering. You can chant, visualize, or pray, but if your internal framework can't hold the vibration of what you ask for, the blessing will arrive only to collapse on impact. This is the lesson hidden inside the quiet labor of the beaver. Manifestation isn't just imagination, it's maintenance. And this is where many people misunderstand the art of creation. They think desire is enough. They think if they believe, the universe will somehow rearrange itself to suit their will. But desire, without preparation, becomes a liability. It's like summoning a storm without having built a shelter. The energy of the Beaver Moon says, don't just dream of your future, design for it. Strengthen the beams that will hold it. Clear the leaks in your emotional architecture. Because the universe is generous, but it's not careless. It will not send abundance into a vessel that is already cracked. So tonight is not about floating into your future. It's about building the bridge to it. It's about putting your hands back into the soil of your reality, tightening the threads that tie your purpose together. Some of you will feel resistance rise here, that quiet voice that says, I've done enough, I'll prepare later. The energy will carry me. But energy without readiness becomes chaos. Even divine current needs a channel to flow through. This is not a romantic moon. It doesn't play in illusions. It doesn't dance in performance spirituality. Its light is utilitarian. It illuminates what's leaking, what's weak, what's worn out. It shows you every unspoken detail you've been avoiding, the promises you broke to yourself, the habits that keep your dreams on pause, the boundaries you refuse to set, because comfort whispers that it's easier not to. But tonight, the illusion of later expires. The Beaver Moon is practical divinity. It is where instinct meets intention, where preparation becomes prayer. It's about recognizing that your rituals mean nothing if your reality isn't ready to receive what you're calling in. So before you wish, repair. Before you manifest, reinforce. Before you demand more from the universe, make sure your inner home can hold the magnitude of what's on its way. Every structure that lasts begins with a moment of sober honesty. This is that moment. You are being invited to pause and look at your life without aesthetic filters. To ask yourself, where am I pretending to be stable? Where am I decorating cracks instead of sealing them? Because truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is the only material that doesn't crumble under pressure. And here's the paradox of the Beaver Moon. It's not the grand gestures that fortify your destiny. It's the invisible, disciplined acts that no one sees, the boundaries you enforce, the self-respect you maintain when no one is watching, the consistency you build even when you feel uninspired. These are the spiritual blueprints of longevity. So tonight, don't just bathe in the moonlight. Build under it. Strengthen your foundation so deeply that even chaos becomes incapable of shaking it. Patch what leaks, anchor what matters, and let the light not only reveal what's beautiful, but what needs rebuilding. Because after this night, the universe will send wind. It always does. And only those who built before the storm will rise above it. The beaver doesn't hope for safety, it engineers it. The wise don't wait for miracles. They prepare space for them. That is the energy of November 6th, 2025. Not the softness of dreaming, but the sacred labor of becoming. There is an emotion rising under this light that few will admit to feeling. It's quiet, uncomfortable, almost shameful to name. But it's there. Envy. Not the shallow kind that resents another's blessing, but the ache you feel when someone steps into something you secretly desire. You see someone living a truth that mirrors what your soul whispers for at night. And instead of celebrating, a small pulse of longing moves through you. You tell yourself, it's nothing. You call it patience. You call it divine timing. But the truth is simpler. It's hunger, disguised as humility. This moon doesn't expose envy to shame you. It reveals it to guide you. Every emotion you've buried, every longing you've muted in the name of spiritual calm comes to the surface under this kind of light. The universe isn't mocking you, it's mapping you. That sting you feel when you see someone else receive what you crave, that's not sin, that's signal. It's your inner compass pointing towards something you've refused to claim. We've been taught that wanting more is ego. That gratitude means staying still. That spiritual maturity is the art of suppressing desire. But the truth is, contentment isn't the absence of desire. It's the ability to want with awareness. You were not born to silence your calling under the illusion of peace. You were born to evolve through it. And sometimes the trigger of envy is simply the divine knocking, saying, this too is meant for you, if you're willing to grow into it. Tonight, under the brightest moon of the year, do not bury what wants to rise. Pray instead. Not the kind of prayer that begs or bargains, but the kind that aligns. The prayer that doesn't ask the universe to give, but asks the soul to awaken. Before you sleep, before you light a candle or whisper your intentions, pray. Speak honestly to the one who listens beyond words. Say what you truly want, without shame, without pretense. Because honesty is the highest vibration of faith. You have to pray tonight. Because prayer, when done in truth, recalibrates energy faster than any ritual ever could. It takes the raw emotion, the envy, the longing, the uncertainty, and places it back into the hands of grace. It says, I see what I want, I admit it, and I trust that if it's mine, I will be shaped to hold it. That is not weakness, that is spiritual courage. So instead of running from the feeling, kneel with it. Let it humble you, not humiliate you. Let it clarify what's missing in your alignment. The moon is not judging you. It's illuminating where your prayers have gone silent. You have been polite with heaven for too long, whispering safe requests because you fear disappointment. But the sky tonight demands honesty, not politeness. It wants you to pray like someone who remembers their power, to speak not only for comfort, but for transformation. Because when you finally tell the truth about what you want, the universe listens differently. The vibration shifts. Heaven moves closer. The moon becomes a mirror, reflecting not just light, but the shape of your faith. And this is where most people turn away. They feel the desire rising and panic. They spiritualize their avoidance, saying things like, if it's meant for me, it will come. But fate doesn't move without invitation. Energy answers prayer that's spoken from the center of your chest, not the one rehearsed in your mind. Let this night be the one where you stop performing surrender and start practicing it, where you stop pretending you're fine with waiting and start admitting you're ready to live. The moon's light is so intense because it's designed to reach the places you've hidden even from yourself. Let it find them. Let it see the rooms of your soul you've kept dimmed for too long. And in that glow, when the emotions begin to rise, don't retreat. Pray. Pray until the envy dissolves into gratitude. Pray until the longing turns into clarity. Pray until you remember that desire isn't dangerous when it's directed toward destiny. Because true prayer doesn't just change outcomes, it changes the shape of the one who prays. You are not being punished for wanting more. You are being awakened by it. Envy, when purified through prayer, becomes vision. It turns jealousy into purpose, comparison into clarity. That's the real alchemy of this moon. It transforms the ache of what's missing into a blueprint for becoming. When the world quiets and the moon reaches its highest point, the night begins to whisper its final lesson. Every spiritual event, every shift, every ritual eventually leads here, to the moment where all the noise fades and you are left with one question. Are you ready to stop chasing and start becoming? Because this is where most lose the thread. They spend hours preparing, cleansing, manifesting, yet when the energy truly peaks, they panic. They believe they must do more, act faster, call louder. They confuse divine motion with urgency, and in that restlessness, they block what was already theirs. The supermoon is not a deadline. It is a mirror. It doesn't ask for effort. It asks for alignment. Tonight, release the need to prove anything. You don't have to convince the universe that you're worthy. You already are. You don't have to fight for timing. Time is already folding toward you. You don't have to perform peace. Peace is what enters when performance ends. Let your body unclench. Let your spirit soften. The more still you become, the more power you hold. Because stillness isn't emptiness, it's readiness. Remember this truth. The energy you chase will always run. The energy you become will always arrive. The ones who force destiny to appear only push it further away. The ones who embody its frequency draw it in effortlessly. You cannot summon what you secretly doubt. You cannot call in a future you are unwilling to hold. So instead of begging the moon to change your life, become the version of yourself who already lives that life. Stand as if it's already unfolding, because in some unseen timeline, it is. Manifestation is not a demand. It's a permission. The universe is waiting for your energy to match what you've been asking for. And the moment you do, when you release fear, soften into truth, breathe instead of grasp, everything aligns without resistance. This is not mythology, it's law. You are magnetic to what matches your vibration. So on this night, do the simplest, holiest thing you can. Surrender. Look up. Let the light wash over your face. Speak nothing. Ask nothing. Just become the prayer. Let your breath say what your words cannot. Let your calm announce your faith. The sky doesn't need more requests, it needs receivers. Be one. And when you finally feel that quiet, that sacred stillness that hums just beneath your ribs, know that you have arrived at the true purpose of this moon. Not to manifest faster, not to perform enlightenment, but to remember that the universe doesn't answer the loudest voice, it answers the most aligned one. So exhale the striving. Inhale certainty. Let the moonlight seal everything you've rebuilt tonight. Your foundation, your honesty, your willingness. You don't have to chase signs anymore. You are one. You don't have to reach for light. You radiate it. You don't have to wait for timing. You are the timing. The energy of this night will echo through the weeks to come. Some will forget. They'll return to noise, to pretending, to performance. But you will carry silence as a crown because you listened, you prayed, you built, and you became. When you wake tomorrow, don't rush to declare what changed. Just notice the shift in your breath, the steadiness in your step, the clarity that wasn't there before. That's how divine transformation feels. Not loud, but irreversible. November 6th, 2025, the night the moon stopped being a spectacle and became a teacher. The night you stopped performing and started embodying. The night you remembered that becoming is the prayer that never ends.